If I was a sweet girl, I would use my. Good morning. Yeah, it's kind of early to get started, but just had an interesting night as I was in meditation last night. I began to really meditate on some things that's transpired yesterday in particular. And I want to talk about vulnerability this morning and the necessity for all of us to become more vulnerable, not just to others, but to ourselves, our true selves, our authentic self. Yesterday, a young lady had a friend that I've known for a while since she was young, reached out to me for some assistance financially. I got the email from her or the text message, and I not just sent her a response that I wasn't in a position to do that, but I reached out and called her, asked her to call me because I wanted to just touch base with her because she had been real vulnerable. A lot of times when people make requests of us, we just figure by just saying no or ignoring it in this day and age where you get requests via emails, texts, we ignore them. But sometimes there comes a point when someone reaches out to you and asks for assistance, and you have to realize it's not about what they're asking, it's just the fact that they have been vulnerable. And the level of vulnerability is tied to the relationship. So, but this morning, in this video chat, I just wanted to talk about vulnerability short for a brief period. Vulnerability by one of my favorite psychologists, Brene Brown. You may have seen her on Oprah's Sunday program. She defines vulnerability as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. So when you really are vulnerable, it's going to involve a level of uncertainty, not knowing what's going to happen, a level of risk in exposing yourself, and emotional exposure. And so when we look at that, there are some myths we have to really deal with. First of all, vulnerability is not weakness. Know that. Secondly, vulnerability meets all of us at some point in our lives on our path to success or to reach that mark that we've set. We have to come face to face with being vulnerable, that you cannot do it by yourself. It requires also that you deal with the issue of exposure, not being exposed to the world, but there's a group you have to at some point in time expose yourself to. And those people are the ones who are your tribe. Those are the ones who care about you. And lastly, it's essential for you to be willing to be vulnerable if you want to have greatness. Jesus was very vulnerable. He took a risk of stepping outside of the norms and developing a small group. And it was that small group that championed his message. It wasn't Facebook. It wasn't LinkedIn. It wasn't tweeting. It was just relationships with a small group. So be vulnerable to someone today. Lastly, I want to say to those of you who are getting this via my mailing system, earlier this week I reached out to many of you and I shared to you that I was looking to retire the budget for this month for the ministry. And I only sent it to a few people on my mailing list, and I learned some things in that. What I'm doing is refining who I should be vulnerable to, who is my tribe, who it really makes a difference for. Many of those individuals, it's not that they didn't send anything, they didn't even respond. And I'm not talking about the ones that didn't open the emails, but the ones that opened the emails and just discounted it. So I want to encourage you today, when someone exposes themselves to you in a level of vulnerability by asking you for something, just be kind enough to respond. And sometimes just saying no. No isn't rejection. No can just means that I've heard you, but I'm not in a position to help you. And sometimes it's not the financial thing or the physical act of helping that makes a difference. It's just knowing that you care. Have a great day, and may God bless you and keep you. If you want to know more about this ministry, look down in the email for the link to the website, or if you're getting this on Facebook, look in the comment below this and visit me today. God bless you and have a great day.